Long before cars raced down Wendover Avenue, before the Greensboro Coliseum hosted concerts and sporting events, and in fact, before Greensboro was Greensboro, this was sacred space. On March 15, 1781, a fierce battle happened on this land. The British claimed the victory, but the American troops so weakened the British troops at that point that just a few months later they had to surrender to General George Washington at Yorktown. This is the home of the Battle of the Guilford Courthouse. Nancy Stewart is the museum shop manager and an interpreter here at Guilford Courthouse National Military Park. What happened on that day back in the 1700s?
Okay, this battle happened in the 6th year of what would become an 8-year war. So this is March the 15th of 1781. On that day, both the British and American armies in the field here in the South arrived here at Guilford Courthouse. General Cornwallis and the British had been chasing the Americans for months across the backcountry of North Carolina, hoping to defeat them before they could be reinforced. General Greene had been avoiding battle until he got the reinforcements he needed. That happened here in the middle of March. The Americans were set up in 3 lines awaiting them. The British relatively quickly broke through the first American line, which was made up of North Carolina militia. By the time the British got to the second American line, which was Virginia militia, they were fighting in the woods. They were fighting lots of battles. There was lots of smoke in the air. Eventually, the British would break through that second line, and then they would meet the regular army, the American regular army, at the third line near the courthouse. This would be the major climax of the battle. The cavalry under William Washington responded quickly and pushed the British back at one point long enough for the Americans to be able to withdraw from the battlefield in an orderly fashion. While this was happening, about a third of the army had been pulled away from the main battle, and they ended up about a mile away from the courthouse up on the hill in the area in what is now Greensboro Country Park, the city park right beside the national park here. And so the final shots of the battle actually took place in that area. The end result of the battle is that the Americans withdrew just south of modern-day Reidsville and prepared for another battle day, which didn't come for a while. The British ended up staying here for several days. They were badly enough crippled that the only thing they could do at this point was to gather the wounded, bury the dead, and look for food to eat. Eventually, the British would leave here and go down to Wilmington, where they could refit. Lord Cornwallis made the fateful decision there to go into Virginia instead of back into South Carolina. And so before the end of that year, he found himself trapped at a place called Yorktown in Virginia. General Greene took the American Southern Department into South Carolina and began to liberate South Carolina and Georgia. And that would lead us on toward the end of the war. At the end of this battle, nobody still knew what the outcome was going to be. But this is one major step, one major battle in the road that brought us to American independence from Great Britain.
And Cornwallis has a famous statement that was attributed to him about this particular battle. He said something like they fought like demons.
They did. They fought like demons here. I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact quote, but yes, they fought like demons here. And in all the British accounts of any of them who were here, they refer to it as one of, if not the worst battle they were in.
Wow. Wow. And every year, in fact, there's a reenactment of that battle right here.
In March, the anniversary of the battle, of course, is on March 15th. And so every year, the weekend nearest to that time, we commemorate the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. We usually have lots of activities. There's We have wreath-laying ceremonies and all sorts of cultural sorts of things like cooking and blacksmithing, dancing, all the things that happen here on a regular basis, as well as military encampments and a battle demonstration so that people can have some appreciation of what it took. This is actually the first Revolutionary War battlefield to ever become a national park.
It's a wonderful place to visit, to learn about our history, and to just have some outdoor enjoyment.
Absolutely. We hope everybody will come often, walk in the parks. We ask that you walk and think about what happened here when you're walking. Recreational sorts of things. We do limit some activities here because it's a special place. It's a space for remembering important things. But we love people to come. We love them to come and walk in the park. We'd love everybody to come lots of times into the visitor center, see the movie and the MAP program, learn about the battle, and come for our other programs, especially at times like the 4th of July. Memorial Day, Veterans Day, those kinds of things, we usually have something going on.
The Guilford Courthouse National Military Park is a great place to learn about our history, both local and national. It's also a great place for recreation. You'll see walkers, runners, and bikers on these wonderful trails just about every day of the year. You can visit too. Just go to the intersection of New Garden Road and Old Battleground Road in Greensboro.